So I believe I have a solve for the Forrest Fenn puzzle, and it's a really good solve. I don't know if anybody came up with it. Every part of it just makes sense. It's very logical. It's just like, I know that there's a lot of seemingly logical ones out there, and it could be wrong. I've got to be okay with myself being wrong in order to have the most accurate solve. And that's actually how I came to this one. And I ran it by a couple people, and they said, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to go after it. Begin it where warm waters halt is Joe Brown Canyon, and then take it in the canyon down is Jim, the Jim Canyon. Put in below the home of Brown is Joe Brown. The end is ever drawing nigh. There will be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. And I was thinking through heavy loads and water high and what that could possibly mean. And it's heavy loads and water high. I think heavy loads and water high are separate. And it's not like the water is deep, so I'm not thinking a mountain lake. It says the waters are high, so I'm thinking altitude. So when I look heavy loads and water high, I come across Rock Creek. And if you follow Rock Creek goes up Ramshorn Peak, and it starts at around 10,000 feet is when the river starts. And so that would definitely explain the water high portion of that puzzle. And it just makes a lot of sense. So today, I am going to attempt to hike up Ramshorn Peak and to go find the Blaze. And the Blaze, I believe, is Blaze Mountain in Big Sky. So I think from the right angle, at 313 degrees, 313.88 degrees, I should be able to view the Blaze Mountain from an area off of Ramshorn. I don't think I'll be able to see it from the summit, but I think I'll be able to view it just north of the summit. Yeah, I'd say north of the summit is where I'll be able to mainly view that. So I'm going to attempt to go up Ramshorn Peak. Went there about a week ago, a little over a week ago, and there's a lot of snow up there. There's a couple dangers with hiking up Ramshorn Peak. It starts in Tom Minor. There's so many grizzly bears in that area, and golly, to be able to get up there and through the grizzly bears, I ended up bringing 2 cans of bear spray. And I'd rather bring 2 cans of bear spray than bear spray and a gun, because weapons have proven to be fairly ineffective on bears, and bears sometimes have known to come back for a second attack after getting sprayed. So always important to bring bear spray and know how to use it ahead of time. So I'm going to be going solo. A couple people that I pegged out to go on this hike were interested, but had prior commitments. So made the call. Individuals know exactly where I'm at, and that is just part of the adventure here in Montana. So I am just really excited to get out and go hiking, and it's going to be a beautiful hike regardless of whether the treasure is up there or not. So I'm really excited for that. But a lot of this puzzle just makes sense. And I think when I spot the Blaze, I look quickly down from my quest to cease. And I don't know if I'm looking for a little cavern up there, or a cave, or something under a boulder. I'm not really exactly sure. So that's a couple other things. I don't even know if I'll make it up there. And another potential hazard is afternoon thunderstorms roll in, and it can be quite dicey up there in the mountains. So I'm prepared for that. I've got headlamps, extra battery supplies. People know where I'm at. First aid kit. I think everything that I need, I've got. It's kind of difficult fitting all the camera gear into the bag and still being able to go up there. So we're gonna do our best and try to find Forrest Fenn's treasure today. 2 days after the 4th. So I'm super excited. Let's go find the $2 million treasure. We'll see you on the road. So I made it here to the Petrified Forest trailhead. I need to get my gear all together and get going. Sunlight is burning. With any good luck, we will find that treasure today. It's 10:44 in the morning, a little bit later start than I anticipated. It's about 3.5 miles up there is my best guess. And there's a lot of altitude to be gained. And one thing, we lose 4 degrees in temperature per 1,000 feet we go up. So we're at 7,100 feet. So we've got to go up another 3,000 feet. So it's going to be 12 degrees colder up there than it is here. At least that. And there's a lot of snow up there too. So weather looks beautiful. 3,000 feet. So it's like 1,000 feet a mile. So it's going to be a pretty grueling uphill hike. I'm excited to attempt this hike get up to Rams Peak and see if I can spot the gold and see if we can find it. I'm excited to get going. I'm going to pack this up and start the hike. Well, this spot seems about as good as any for a quick sit down, a quick break. I've been hiking pretty hard the entire time, and I'll let you know here. I've got my phone out looking at the All Trails app. Not sponsored by them, but it'd be fantastic if I was. I'd be down for that. So here we are at the turnoff of where we got to go up. So Buffalo Pass and Ramshorn Peak is to the right. The Yukon, I think it's Yukon boundary or something like that. Yeah, UN Wyoming boundaries. I don't know. Not really exactly sure what that is, but that is to the left. And the trail splits off a little bit to the right, so I'm like trying to figure out exactly where to go. Not for sure. I think I've got to actually go back a little bit and follow this trail back here and then go over that direction. But that's my guess. So far, we've gained. I'm gonna pause. I need to pause this real quick. Are you sure you want to pause recording? Yes. Okay. So far, we gained 1,393 feet of elevation, 1,393 feet of elevation, and my coordinates has my bearing, and my GPS accuracy is to 21 feet right now. That's kind of cool. We got some clouds moving in, so hopefully I can get up there and do some searching before any thunderstorms hit. That would be a bummer. I'm trying to make good progress here. And so that's why I haven't been filming a whole lot up the trail, is I've just been trying to deadhead and make it up to this point. So far, it took me about an hour and 8 minutes to get about halfway. Maybe a little less than halfway. No, miles-wise, it's about halfway. 2.4 miles, 1,000 feet of elevation gain. From here on out, it's going to be a lot more elevation, a lot steeper. I think it's 1.7 miles up to the top. So it's going to be a pretty good trek up there. And I haven't seen bears or wildlife yet, other than a bird chirping at me, which I'm okay with that right now. I'm okay with not being eaten. I don't like to be eaten. Don't want to try it. So this is where I'm at. I'm excited to continue the adventure up the mountain. We'll continue being safe, and hopefully I can get some cell phone service here before too long, and let everybody know that I've been in contact with, that I'm doing well. You know, one good thing to do is take pictures of maps also, because you never know if an app might crash or whatever. So I like to have as many options as I can. So I took a bunch of screenshots of different apps and different places online. And so they're all on my phone. And just paying attention also to my trek up here and knowing exactly where I'm at. I looked at this area enough on the maps. I also have one in my mind too. So yeah, that's always good just to be extra careful. I'm going to continue going on here and make it up there and hopefully do some searching.
a good hike. Going uphill, holding the camera, holding my trekking poles, just so you can see my face. It's crazy. Crazy what people do. Probably not very good audio. It's just through the GoPro right now. But it's what you get. It is what you get. I'm excited to see what's up here. Man, I'm not really so keen on this dense foliage here. I like being able to see where the trail goes, see where everything's at. Yeah, a lot of trees down through here. I wonder what, that one broke off halfway up. Look at that. Wind, maybe? I have no idea. But we are making the trek back up in here. And we're gonna see what all we got. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. Definitely looking forward to being up and out of this. Continuing on uphill. I have a feeling we're gonna be able to see some good sights here pretty soon. It's gonna be good. It's funny. Oh, when you're hiking like this, sometimes you feel all alone. And you lose a trail. But I'm not all alone, because I've got you, my friend. I've got you. It's pretty cool. Excited for this nice old long trek up here. Feeling we're gonna break out and see some cool views here in a second. Oh wow, this is really cool. Look at that. Look at that. Huh. I must have a little bit of service because my phone let me know that there is that I've got a good old bank purchase going on. Audible. Pretty cool. Look at that. Holy moly. Hi, hi, hi. Oh, there's so much territory. Very good probability that Joseph Meek came up to this mountain in particular to look out and decide where he's gonna go. And he moved towards Yellowstone, following the Yellowstone River. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Aye, aye, aye. See a long ways. It's really pretty. Well, looks like it's gonna start hailing. There for a second it was hailing, so I crawled in some trees. I'm gonna put the little cover over my backpack, make sure that's good. I also have a rain coat, which is always good to carry with you, and water wicking pants and everything, so I should be able to dry out quick even if I do get wet, which is always important to be able to dry out, especially when you're in high elevation and hiking. Beautiful hike so far. Just been deadheading it, trying to get up and out of these trees and to where I can really see something. And I hear a plane. It feels like it's flying right over my head. Huh. Like not very far over. It tells you how high we are. Weird.
For you, it's just been a moment in time. For me, it's been a day. I struggle with, I'm here in actually Sacagawea Park, one of my favorite locations in Livingston, just to go and think and go for walks. And yesterday was an interesting day because a lot of the clues made sense, but what didn't make sense was the location. I really felt like it was a good spot, and there was one misconception I think that people have is the ability for Mr. Fenn to hike back into an appropriate location that's decently far back, and I just don't think he would have been able to hike in there twice or even once with that load. First of all, he's starting out at a very low altitude in New Mexico. Hiking is obviously something that he has done a lot of, and I think there is some misconceptions there about how far he possibly could go back in there and what he might be capable of. I think we need to give more credit to some of those individuals. Like just recently, a couple years ago, an 82-year-old man ran, it's called the Ridge Run in the Bridger Mountains, and it is 21 miles, and an 82-year-old man did it in 7 hours, 9 minutes. The thing is it was 19,000 feet of elevation gain and loss. So I think he has the ability to go, there's definitely the ability with some people to go a lot further than others, but I do think there is a particular misconception about how far he could have gone. But with that said, I don't think he would have been able to take that treasure to that location. Absolutely incredible location. I hope that, I haven't looked at the footage yet, but I hope that it did justice in some way, shape, or form. Well, it just won't. It just won't. Another thing, one of the reasons why I didn't video a whole lot coming back down is as I was coming up, there was a photographer with a spotting scope that noticed me. I think he said, between 50 and 100 yards maybe from a grizzly bear that was right over top of the hill. And it was a younger one. And he, I don't know if it was separated from its mother yet or not. It seemed to be all alone. We didn't see its mother at all if it had one. But with that many grizzly bears in that area, and then also coming down, I ended up not even seeing one, and I ended up walking right by another grizzly bear. And then I met up with that same photographer and walked out and hiked out with them. It's always important to make sure you stay in groups. When I got to the trailhead, there were a lot of people going up and down. It's a very well-traveled area, despite the number of grizzlies, and there hasn't really been, there's been incidences of attacks there within the last couple years, but for the amount of people that go up there, I felt pretty safe. Next time I go up there, I'll probably just stick with somebody hiking all the way up and back down. It's probably the smarter thing to do. I did have cell phone service and kept the parties that knew where I was at in touch and the entire time. So it was a very I felt pretty secure in that. And yeah, it's been quite the journey so far, and I don't think the treasure, I just don't see how it could be on Ramshorn Peak. As many people as walk up there, it just doesn't make sense. And I think I could spot the Blaze Mountain from that location, but as well as a couple other locations along the peak. So it wasn't like it was one specific spot that it could only pop through. I used the compass on my phone and the heading, so I knew exactly to the very degree where the mountain was, and I'm pretty certain that it was clearly visible, and it was clearly visible from multiple locations. I don't know what to do with that. Like, it doesn't end up in one specific location like I would have thought it would have. So I am going to X that location off of my search as I continue on. Make sure you keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next one.